It's time to take a look at the Champions League and the Europa League. Over the next few minutes, we're going to have a look at what's happening in Europe's two major club competitions, now that all the matches in the round of 16 have been played. There's a lot of excitement surrounding the Champions League, but probably only a few know how the competition first started. In a minute, we'll find out. Let's start this summary with the second leg of the Europa League's round of 16. One of the most anticipated fixtures was a duel between two Spanish teams, or to be exact, between two clubs from the same city. We're talking, of course, about the game between Real Betis and Seville, a derby match between the two clubs from the city of Flamenco. After their 2-0 home defeat, Seville were looking to turn the result around in order to go through. It was vital that everyone was fully concentrated before the game started.
Pero nosotros tenemos que mañana aislarnos de dónde estamos, aislarnos incluso de cómo está el oponente y centrarnos en nosotros y trabajar el partido con la idea de ganarlo. En el momento que nosotros ganemos el partido, si es por más de un gol, ya estamos en la eliminatoria.
And during the match, the Seville players battled for 90 minutes to achieve their aim. They scored 2 goals and left the game wide open. 2-0 to Seville meant the tie was a draw, because Betis had won by 2-0 in the first leg. It all came down to penalties, and it was Seville who got the upper hand. The team coached by Unai Emery went through to the quarter-finals of the Europa League. Another of the big games in the round of 16 was Benfica versus Tottenham. After beating the Londoners 3-1 at White Hart Lane, Benfica started the game at the Stadium of Light with a comfortable advantage. But the English team were intent on turning the tie around. At one point, Spurs were winning 2-1, but Benfica soon made it clear they weren't ready to be knocked out of the Europa League quite yet. 2-2 was the final score, and Benfica went through to the quarter-finals. Let's have a look at how things stand. First, the results for the second leg of the Europa League round of 16. After looking at the scores of the second leg, let's see how things stand overall. The clubs in bold qualified for the next round. The first leg of the quarter-finals is set to be played on the 3rd of April. The battle continues for a place in the final, which will take place on the 14th of May in Turin, Italy. In a moment, we'll take a look at the round of 16 of the Champions League. But first, a little bit of history. The Champions League is perhaps the most coveted of European club competitions. Do you know how it all started? 1 month after UEFA's first Congress, Europe's main club competition was launched. The year was 1955. However, what was then known as the European Cup wasn't actually UEFA's idea. While everyone was busy creating a European competition for national teams, Gabriel Hanot, the editor of the French newspaper L'Équipe, began planning a competition for Europe's clubs. With his colleagues on the newspaper, Gabriel Hanot came up with a tournament that would involve playing matches on Wednesday nights. Initially, teams had to be invited to take part. Participating clubs didn't have to be their national champions, but that soon changed. The first match of the European Cup was held in Lisbon between Sporting and Partizan Belgrade. The date was the 4th of September 1955, and the final score was 3-3. Just over a month later, in the second leg in Belgrade, Partizan won in front of their home crowd 5-2. In the 1992-1993 season, the European Cup underwent a radical transformation. Its name was changed to the Champions League, and a group stage was introduced, allowing the number of participating teams to be increased from 8 to 32. Since then, the tournament has become widely followed all across Europe. Let's put the tournament's history behind us and find out what happened in the second leg of the round of 16 of the Champions League. Let's zoom in on the Dortmund-Zenit game. In the first leg, Borussia Dortmund travelled to St. Petersburg, where they won 4-2. The Germans were just one step away from qualifying for the next round. All they had to do was ensure they didn't make any mistakes.
Das hängt natürlich nur damit zusammen, was hat St. Petersburg für Ziele, wie sehr sahen sie diese Ziele in Gefahr. Und dann hat man eine Entscheidung getroffen, die meines Wissens jetzt für Herrn Semak erstmal ausgefallen ist. Und was ich gehört habe, ist ab Donnerstag ein neuer Trainer. Ja, Herr Villas-Boas stand da. Also, sie wollen anscheinend mehr, als es bisher gab. Das ist im Fußball manchmal so.
So let's take a look at the game. While Borussia Dortmund had won the first leg away, they lost the second leg at home, with the Russians running out 2-1 winners. Zenit controlled the game, and the players were confident they could cancel out the 4-2 defeat they had suffered in St. Petersburg. But they had a mountain to climb, and the 2 goals they scored were not enough to move into the next round of the competition. So it was the Germans of Borussia Dortmund who ensured a place in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. The final score over the 2 legs was 5-4 to Dortmund. Another outstanding tie was Real Madrid versus Schalke 04. The Spanish team started the match with a huge advantage, having won the first leg in Germany 6-1. Not content with that, Real went on the attack and scored another 3 goals at the Santiago Bernabeu. In reply, Schalke only managed to score once, so it is Real Madrid who advanced with an aggregate result of 9-2. Real were clearly the more dominant team over the 2 legs. Let's have a look at all the results. After these results, the best 8 teams will go through to the next round. The draw for the quarter-finals will be held tomorrow. We can also see the overall results for the 2 legs of the round of 16. The teams underlined will advance to the next round, and all have just one aim: to lift the cup on the 24th of May in Lisbon, Portugal.